Hello, Blake Lively here.
Colleen Hoover.
And It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
I think we need to talk about It Ends With Us. What are my credentials, you may ask, about any of this or any of these people? Not a lot, but I do absolutely adore this messiness that has happened with Blake Lively, kind of her husband Ryan Reynolds. And then we have Colleen, who is the author of said book. And of course we have Justin Baldoni, who is the director of this film. I didn't really know much of Justin Baldoni. I've never read the book and I haven't actually gone and seen this film yet. In fact, I went and I saw the new Deadpool yesterday, which I've had like a prayer Madonna stuck in my head since yesterday. That was a great film, but we're going to get onto that in just a moment.
Why is Deadpool Wolverine sold out? I'm sorry, I got distracted back there. I feel offended, but we're not out yet. That's fine. I'm happy about that. No, I didn't even answer it. Sorry, it's like flashing sold out.
The press release, what you do, the premiere, everything surrounding this film, depending on who you are going to, you will get two different versions of what this film is kind of about. Justin Baldoni was the director of this film, said film right here. And when I first heard about this film, all I knew is that Blake Lively was in it and she was talking about florals. She was talking about florals and you can go and grab your girls, you can go and watch this film, it's gonna be brilliant. And I thought it was a rom-com, and I'm not just saying that because everyone else on the internet is saying that right now. I genuinely thought it was a rom-com.
For me, what was really important for the character was that you understood she was like a walking, talking contradiction, but also she could be all things at once. She could be both strong and vulnerable. She could be both masculine and feminine. She could be artistic and overly expressive and fashion and fabulous, but she could also be like very grounded in utility.
And I don't know, I had no urge to go and watch it based on what she had been saying. Now, turns out if you actually read the book and then of course go and see this film, if you read the book, you'll know that it has extremely heavy themes of domestic violence, domestic abuse, and women being stuck in this horrible cycle. So of course, Blake Lively coming on and saying, grab your girls, it's all about florals. Her saying that has led a lot of people to go and watch this film thinking, oh, it's a Blake Lively film, I love Blake Lively. Then coming away from the cinema and going, wow, that had really graphic depictions of domestic violence. This wasn't actually a rom-com. This was actually quite a sad film.
Survivors of generational trauma and domestic abuse are going to see this film. I'm curious, what is the message that you hope that they take away from it?
You are so much, and not to minimize it anyway, but you are so much more than just a survivor or just a victim. Well, that is a huge thing. You are a person of multitudes, and what someone has done to you doesn't define you. You define you, and what you have in you and what you're capable of, and what you have done and are doing and will do is so much bigger than anything anyone else can do to you. It's so empowering and rooting and grounding, and I hope that people see that, because this is a story that covers domestic violence, but it's not about domestic violence, it's about this woman.
You'd never know that from looking at the press releases. You wouldn't know that whatsoever, because what Blake Lively has been doing, going on there wearing a Britney Spears dress. Okay, number one, talking about her Britney Spears dress. Number two, she has been promoting, because of course she is married to Ryan Reynolds, she is then promoting the new Deadpool Wolverine film. So not only do we have Blake Lively in a Britney Spears dress talking about florals and how get your girls together, we also have her bringing Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds on board, and then also promoting her new hair launch, which is called Blake Brown Beauty. We have a little Instagram, 7 years, thousands of washes later. She's actually promoting this whilst also promoting this movie, and doesn't mention really at any point what this movie is actually about.
The more I look into this, the more fishy it is, and it just seems a bit tone deaf. Why are we using a movie about DV to promote your hair brand? Why is the PR packet funny and fluffy instead of raising awareness and talking about the heart of this film? And why is it giving Deadpool x Wolverine x It Ends With Us? Like, I appreciate that they're supporting each other as husband and wife with their respective movies, but it just seems tone deaf given the nature of this film.
And if you didn't know and you hadn't read the book, you would think it is this girly rom-com, and it is not. Her, the author, who's called Colleen Hoover, had a lot of input in this film. Blake was taken on as leading actress. She was also producer of this film. The director, featured the director. The director then comes into this. Justin Baldoni, the director of this film, has spent a very long time, even before filming this, before the directing, he's also the leading actor. On top of all of this, he is the only one who has literally come on and said, this film is not for me. This film is for all the women who are stuck in these cycles, and really putting a massive emphasis on the fact that this film is about domestic violence.
I think all of the scenes showcasing gender-based violence, I think that was very hard for me. I almost had to step out of my body. There were a lot of times, even thinking about it is hard. There were a lot of times where I would have to go privately into a room and just cry or shake it out and try to get him out of me and that energy out of me, because it's too real. And there are too many people that are the real life Lily Blooms of the world that have to deal with that every single day. And I wanted it to be as real as possible, and yet it was very hard to shoot those scenes.
Going so far as to even team up with No More Org, so No More Organization, which is a domestic abuse, I'll put it up right here. He's been heavily promoting them on his Instagram. Literally, the only things it says is like spread awareness, donate, and then has links to ways that you can go and support these charities and organizations that are trying to help women in domestic abuse situations.
Hello, Blake Lively here.
Colleen Hoover.
And It Ends With Us is in theaters now, so grab your friends, wear your florals, and head out to see it.
What do you want men to take away from this film?
I want men, first of all, I want men to stop asking the question, why do women stay?
Yeah.
Right? I want men to take accountability. I want men to hold other men accountable. This particular film, I want men to go to the theater and in some way see a version of themselves. You have two very different characters. Both of them, in Atlas and Ryle, have had past trauma. One handles it very different than the other. My other hope is that the men who have not done the work, to heal, if they see bits of themselves in Ryle, have a chance to step back and say, you know what, I don't want to blow up my life. I don't want to hurt the person.
Now, the interesting thing is that there was a lot of hubbub about the fact that there was a split between the fact that obviously Justin is director, Blake was then producing, Colleen, the author, also had a lot to say, and it seems like Colleen and Blake were kind of like having this little, team up session. And it seems like they basically axed Justin out of the film and decided to take the press release, the vision of this film after it was made. They tried to take it and sell it in a direction of like, it's a girly thing and all of this kind of stuff, completely missing the mark that this is a film, a very sad film about this book which depicts extremely heavy themes, and you have Blake over here talking about her hair products and talking about florals and Get Your Girls Together. Night and day.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think.
Justin said he doesn't know if he'd be game to direct the next one, but perhaps Blake would. Is that something that you would entertain?
Oh, absolutely. I think that whoever decides to take charge of the next one would do it justice. But, it's a lot of people to get the same schedules together.
Without seeing Justin and what he had to say about this film, you would not know what the hell this film is about. You would have no idea. They did it so badly. Justin seemed like the only one that was actually taking this seriously. Another interesting point to make as well is that Blake and Ryan, of course, Ryan and Hugh Jackman are in the, like I say, I went and saw it yesterday. Yeah, so they went and did that film, and Blake and Ryan had this thing where they'll always try and promote each other's films. Now, that's all well and good. You promote each other's films, you do this and that. But if you're going to try and sell another film, and the film that you're doing and you're promoting is about this serious of a topic matter, it's just so tone deaf. The way that Blake and Colleen and the rest of whoever, apart from the director, everything that they have done is just not a good thing. During the whole writer's strike thing, Hollywood writer's strikes, weren't getting paid enough, writers went on strikes. Well, Ryan decided to write the rooftop scene. I haven't read the book and I haven't watched the film. Don't know what it is. But he actually stepped in to write a part of it. So then he was then given credit on it. So Blake and Ryan and Hugh Jackman literally are going around doing these. Meanwhile, you have the director who is trying so hard to try and get people back onto what this film is actually about.
The movie covers domestic violence, but what's important about this film is that she is not just a survivor and she's not just a victim. And while those are huge things to be, they're not her identity. She's not defined by something that someone else did to her or an event that happened to her, even if it's multiple events. She defines herself.
If you're going to be here and you want to promote your Britney Spears dress and you want to promote your hair thing, why the hell are you choosing to do it based on this particular film? Like, it just doesn't. Everyone's saying that she wanted her Barbie moment. That's what people are saying. They wanted what did you call it? The Barbie and Oppenheimer. It's never going to work. This is not a Barbie film. I tell you right now, based on what other people have said who have read the book and have watched the film, not a feel-good Barbie film. It's just not. Backlash to this has been quite immense. People are really annoyed and they are telling everyone that they are extremely annoyed because they have been all over Blake's Instagram. They said, "Love you, Blake, but you are definitely tone deaf." I agree with that. "The promotion on this film is a complete slap in the face to every woman who has endured domestic violence." Someone else said, "This is a little gross, the marketing and promotion around a film that is primarily about domestic violence, yet not a single one of you besides Justin is talking about it." And you literally comment after comment after comment. On to Justin Baldoni's Instagram, and it literally said, "If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, help is available. Visit KnowMore.org for more info." And then a little thing down to a link in tree. You go to Blake's. What's going on with Blake? Founder of Betty Buzz and Betty Booze. And then she's then, I don't know. Like, the irony of the topic of this film. And Blake is not taking it seriously whatsoever. And I just can't. There's also a whole load of stuff that is now coming out about Blake and Ryan. And the fact that 10 years ago when they got married, they actually got married on a plantation farm. Like, plantation housing. Do you know what I mean? That happened 10 years ago, but now people are resurfacing it. I didn't know about that. I had no idea about that, but that's been going around as well. So now all of a sudden you've got people going, "Ooh, Ryan and Blake." You know what I mean? It's like the new Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. Anyway, so now what's happened is that they've all unfollowed the director. And Colleen, the author of the said book, has made her whole page private. She's made it private because they're obviously getting a lot of flack.
Oh, it's been incredible. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I was very fearful at first. You know, you want them, whoever's adapting it, to make a faithful adaptation for the readers that love and support the book, and I really think they did a wonderful job.
The thing is that Colleen seemingly does side with Blake because I think I've already mentioned this, but when they're doing their premieres, they're never seen with Justin, ever. They're never seen with Justin, but the rest of them are seen together. So seemingly it's like Blake and Colleen sort of, you know, tag teamed up a little bit, and they were trying to axe Justin out of the thing, even though I think he owned the production company and then he was the director and then they obviously hired. I'm not entirely sure like how Hollywood work, but this reminds me of another J-Lo moment. And I'm not saying it's the same thing, like exactly what happened, because it's not. You can't compare the two exact instances. I mean it in a way that this reminds me of Jennifer Lopez and her absolute toned deafness. Her toned deafness to what is actually going on and how everyday people, the rest of the world, people who go and consume your art, i.e. your film, how they are going to perceive it. They're so taken out of the way of reality that they do not understand that this isn't going to go down very well. It's not just like Blake didn't realise. It's a whole host of them. At not one moment.
So I thank Colleen Hoover for that.
And she achieves her childhood dream. What's your childhood dream?
To wear Britney Spears' Versace dress.
Could there be something else that's gone on and Justin is like a secretly horrible person? You know, could that be the case? Yeah, it could be. We're just going to have to wait and see. You never know in these kind of situations. Based on what I've seen of Justin, he seems like he really cared about this project and he put in a lot of work before the film was even released and before it was even, you know, the filming process. But you never know. You never know with things like this. But even then, why are you promoting it in this way? That doesn't, you know, that would only explain you trying to like distance yourself from Justin. That wouldn't explain everything else that's going on. That's just my hot takes. It's not even really a hot take. I feel like everyone's talking about it right now. But yeah, I don't know. And then I kind of felt bad after realizing that Ryan and Blake were like, you know, that it had become almost this takeover of the two films. I then felt kind of bad that I'd gone and seen Deadpool, considering I don't think I'd ever even seen Deadpool 1. But I went and saw the new one, and I do actually, I quite liked it. I don't massively like, this is now off track, and this is now going into Amy Rant territory, because I feel like I've shared all my information that I currently possess. If I'm not the biggest Ryan Reynolds fan. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Like even the character Deadpool kind of, I don't know. The actor kind of annoys me a little bit, and there's no shame on the acting capabilities. I'm sure, great actor, but there's some actors that I just find a little bit irritating, and he's definitely in that camp, and I've never been able to really understand why. Same with Blake Lively as well. I don't really know. I liked her in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, but I feel like whenever I see her on screen, she has one facial expression, and that's not meant in a mean way. That's just meant in a, I'm trying to view you as an actor. But I did like her in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 1 and 2 is the second one, isn't there? Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest movie person, but I saw this and I instantly thought of, wow, this is ridiculous. And number 2, wow, this reminds me of what happened to Jennifer Lopez, because read the room. Like, read the room. What's going on in the world right now? And you're over here promoting hair care products, whatever the hell. I don't even want to know what she's creating. I've got no interest. That is going to turn people off of ever buying that product. If you value hair care more about your hair stuff than the nature and the topic of the film that you're doing about domestic violence, then I don't think you're going to sell it very well. Also trying to aim it at women as well, which makes it even more like, could you not have maybe put in a bit more effort into discussing what many women have to go through in relationships and dynamics with other people? Could you not have done that rather than focusing on the hair? Like, I don't know. For me, it's just really tone deaf and it's just really ironic. But that's just me, and I hope I've made my point. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch up with you guys in the next video.